Hello everyone, this is Pawan Rangdar, Assistant Professor, Department of Ceramic and Cement Technology, PDA College of Engineering. I hope you all are in your good health, doing well, staying at home. So I have made this video to cover some of the topics from your Cement Technology 2 course, as we have already covered Module 1 and some topics from Module 2 during uh, when the college was working. Now due to the extension of lockdown, I have thought of making some videos to cover the remaining topics, and in this video I'll be covering the topic pre-homogenization of cement raw mix. The contents of this topic will be meaning and significance of pre-homogenization, that is why we do pre-homogenization and what is pre-homogenization, then the methods of pre-homogenization and types of longitudinal stockpiling, circular stockpiling and reclaimers. So pre-homogenization is a unit operation to increase consistency of raw material to ensure product quality and operational stability. So pre-homogenization, as the name describes, it is a step prior to homogenization. Okay. Now, why we do pre-homogenization is when we get this raw material from the quarries, especially the limestone, the content of CaCO3 is fluctuating in that limestone. Okay. Suppose you are bringing limestone from one part of your mine, then the limestone will contain higher percentage of CaCO3. Then later when you bring the limestone from other part of your mine, then the content of CaCO3 will be less in that limestone, and that creates a problem while designing the raw mix. So this problem was addressed by doing selective quarrying. Means they used to dig out the material in a specified region of their mine, so that they get the similar so that they get same percentage of CaCO3 in their raw mix. Means they used to only select a certain place from where they used to dig the raw material, and that raw material used to have similar percentage of CaCO3. But this became a problem when the company or the plant wanted to scale up their production. They cannot restrict the mining in only one area to if they wanted to increase the capacity. So they were looking for other alternatives or other possible things which they can do to avoid this problem. And in 1905 they came up with this pre-homogenization concept, which can be done via stacking and reclaiming. Okay, these are the two processes which are done to ensure there is a pre-homogenization of raw mix. So what happens is, suppose this is the quarry or the mine. You get large lumps of limestone from the quarry, and they will undergo primary crushing. Okay, as you know, jaw crusher, gyratory crusher, cone crusher are used in cement manufacturing unit for crushing the large lumps into small pieces. And after this primary crushing, all these large lumps are crushed in this primary crushing unit, and small pieces of 1 inch or 2 inch will come out from this primary crushing unit, and they will undergo a process called pre-homogenization, and that pre-homogenization consists stacking and reclaiming. Okay, then later after this they will go to raw mill for secondary crushing. Okay, this is how this goes. From raw mill the process continues. As you all know what happens after secondary crushing. So this pre-homogenization is a step between primary crushing and secondary crushing. Okay, and this pre-homogenization is also done, one second. So this pre-homogenization is also done to or is usually the principal buffer storage between crushing and raw milling. Means it is done, it is used as a storage after the material is brought from primary crushing unit. It is stacked in this way. This figure describes the longitudinal stacking, and the ratio will be 5:1. The length will be 5 and 1. In this ratio, I mean, the ratio will be 5:1. And this there will be there will be many stockpiles which will be laid in the cement factory like this, so that if the mining has been stopped or the primary crushing unit has stopped, the the further process does not stop, so that they have the storage of raw material like in this way. They store the raw material in this way, and they are stored in an roofed or closed area, so that there is no rainfall. If even if there is rainfall, it is not affected. And while stacking, there is a lot of dust which is generated, and that should not go out. For that purpose, it is stored in a closed area, or only there is a roof, as you must have seen this when we had visited a cement factory. Okay, the after primary crushing, you must have seen the stacks laying out there. Okay, so this is longitudinal type. We will see the types later. So usually limestone is stacked in this way, because the limestone which we get from the quarry will have a varying percentage of CaCO3, and in sometimes the argillaceous raw material is also made to undergo this stacking and reclaiming or pre-homogenization method, and siliceous material will not come under this process. And if you are using granulated blast furnace slag as a raw material, then that also has to undergo this pre-homogenization method. Okay, I hope you are clear why we do pre-homogenization. That is to homogenize the percentage, or to reduce the deviation in CaCO3 content in the limestone. And you can see some of the figures here, but you may not understand it now, but you will understand it in further slides. So the methods of pre-homogenization are combined pre-homogenization and segregated pre-homogenization. In combined pre-homogenization of raw material, components require component of balanced chemical composition. The proportioning of component is performed before stacking the stockpile, and if there are irregular particle size composition of the component, however, can cause partial segregation, resulting in temporary chemical deviation of raw mix from set point. So this method is not very much used, and it will not give a very good pre-homogenization. So we will not talk much about this method. We will talk about segregated pre-homogenization method. So what happens in this method is, crushed material from primary crushing unit of particle size 1 inch is used for stockpiling the blending beds. The quality of blending bed depend upon the method of stockpiling. There are various methods in which this stockpiling can be done, and the quality of that blending bed will depend upon the method we are using for stockpiling. Usually the stacking of blending bed is performed along the longitudinal axis. Okay, you can see in the diagram, I think, one second. So you can see this is in longitudinal direction. This is called longitudinal stockpiling. Okay, whereas reclaiming of the stockpiling is completed in transverse direction, that is by cross cutting. You can see here the material is poured from here and this pile is made, and the reclaiming is done on this side. Reclaiming means cutting it. Suppose this is assume this to be a cake. Okay, now you are cutting this cake like this in this direction, slowly you are cutting it, and this material is going into this belt conveyor and being transported. Okay, you will see this. I will show you a video where it will be very clear to you how this reclaiming is done and how stacking is done. Okay, so again there is one more type of stockpiling. One is longitudinal axis and another will be circular or round stockpiles. Okay, however the investment in circular stockpile will be 30 to 40% higher than longitudinal axis. So you will see these two types of stockpiling, longitudinal and circular. Okay, in longitudinal you have 6 types. Okay, in longitudinal you have six types, and the most used one is chevron method. Okay, we will see one by one. So this is chevron type of stockpiling. So what is chevron? Chevron means, you must have seen the badges of navy or army people on their shoulder. It shows arrows like this. This is called chevron, and this method is called chevron because the material is poured in this manner. You can see the layers. One second. The material, what they do is, here you can see there is an arrow like this. This arrow is pouring the material. Once they will pour the material like this, then the second layer will be different, third layer will be different, fourth layer will be different, fifth layer will be different. Limestone means it will be in varying composition of CaCO3. Okay, they will stack it like this. Okay, so this is called chevron method. Stockpiling of blending bed is performed either by a belt conveyor with tripper or by stacker with a rigid boom. Means this you can see. So you can see this longitudinal stockpile using a belt conveyor and tripper. You can see here this is using belt conveyor and tripper, and this is with boom stacker. Actually in this diagram you cannot see it very clearly. It is not visible very clearly, but I will show you a PPT where you can see the parts of this stacker and reclaimer. Then it will be very clear to you how what is this boom stacker and bulk and belt conveyor with tripper. Okay, so with this method of stockpiling, the particular method material layer are roof shaped and deposited one upon the other. Means once the material is deposited, upon that another material is deposited, upon that another material is deposited. The stockpiling is simple since only one discharge point is used along the length of blending bed. Okay, this is the discharge point from where the material is being poured like this. Okay, this is the discharge point, and in this method, chevron method, only one discharge point is required. Okay, and the moving speed, the speed of this discharge point has to be controlled in order to control the thickness of your layer. If your stacker is moving very fast, then the thickness will be less. If your stacker is moving very slowly, then the thickness of the layer which is being formed is thick. It will be, the thickness will be large. Okay. And one more problem with this type of this chevron method is when there are coarse particle being poured, means if there are any coarse particle, they will roll down and accumulate at the at this edges. Okay, this coarse particle are coming and accumulating at this edges, and this will not cause proper homogenization of the raw mix when they are reclaimed. Okay, this is one problem. To avoid this problem, you have the second type of stacking method, that is windrow method. To avoid this problem of large particle, coarse particle accumulating or segregating at the edges, you have this method. What happens in this method is you have various discharge points in this method, unlike in chevron method where you had only one discharge point. In this method you have various discharge point. From this discharge point, this small stack is being poured. Okay, from this discharge point, the second one, this stack is being poured. Then from third one, these two are poured. From fourth, again these two are poured. Like this they will make this whole stack. Okay, and again they will cut it like this, in this manner they will cut it, and they will get combination of all this. Suppose this is, again imagine this as to be a cake, and these are all different ingredients, and when you slice this cake in this direction, in this direction, you will have mixture of all these components in your slice. Okay, so that is how pre-homogenization is being carried out. And there is no coarse material segregating at the edges, because whatever coarse material was there for this small stockpile, it will be on this edge, and it will be mixed with this stockpile, and the coarse particle of this stockpile will be mixed with this stock, so it is getting mixed inside. So there is no possibility that the coarse particle are only at the edges of the stockpile. Okay, so the disadvantage about this kind of stockpiling is you need an expensive and lot of stackers are needed. Right, you can see here lot of stackers are needed, and it will get expensive. Okay, then going to next type of stockpiling, you have another 4 type of stockpiling. The third one is aerial stockpile. You can see here, this is aerial stockpiling. Here first layer is laid, then second layer, then third, then fourth, then fifth, like this. You can have many layers laid. Then again the reclaiming will be same as in earlier stockpiles. Then you have axial stockpile. You make one pile, then later another one, third, fourth, fifth, like this. You can see here the diagram is self-explanatory actually, but you can see here the coarse particles are segregating at the sides. This problem persists in this type of stockpiling, and these are not very much used. These 4 types of all these 4 are not very much in practice, so they are rarely used. Then you have 5th type of stockpiling, that is continuous stockpiling. You can see 1, 2, 3, or they are all laid one by one. And you have another one, alternate stockpiling. Here they are laid in this fashion, you can see in the figure. Okay, so you can see there are various stackers used for stockpiling this. Okay, here also and here also, so this becomes expensive. And one more thing which should be noted is during reclaiming, the reclaiming will be done in this direction, not in this direction. It will be done in this direction, means you are cutting the cake in this direction. This slice will be cut and it will be transported. And even in this type of stockpiling, the reclaiming will be done in this direction. Okay. So the next one is circular blending beds. Okay, the stockpiling of circular blending bed is performed by a belt conveyor which is swivel mounted in the bed center point. Okay, and the cross section of circular stockpile can be either triangular or trapezoidal. So what happens is, you can see this is the top view of the circular blending bed. At the center there will be a discharge point from where the material is being poured, and it will make this circular cone, and this also is a stockpile. Okay, and in this circular blending also you have chevron method, windrow method, and other method which you have seen in longitudinal stockpiling. Okay, so this is it about pre-homogenization. So you need to see, I'll show you a video where you can see how this. You can watch this video where you can see how pre-homogenization is done. So this is the stockpile in longitudinal direction. It is being poured from a belt conveyor. So you can understand this is a chevron type of stockpiling, one layer above the other. So the layers are different. This is chevron type of stockpiling. So now you see this is the reclaimer. This is an bucket reclaimer. So you can see how the material is cut. I was talking about the cutting of the cake, or the cutting of the slice from the cake. So this is that cutting you can see here. So you can see this type of stockpiling is a windrow stockpiling. Yeah. The reclaiming process is same. This is a circular blending bed. This is the reclaiming. The reclaimer is in this direction now. You can see here the material is being taken here. The material is going. And I'm sorry, this is not circular blending bed. It is longitudinal and it is continuous one. The fifth one in longitudinal blending bed. See how the material is being transported here. You can see here, this is a belt conveyor again. The material is going. This is aerial stockpiling bed. So the internet is slow. I think this is enough. You have got the point. You can Google it yourself. You can see there are various videos available on YouTube, so you can find it. So I'll show you one PDF where you can see the types of reclaimer. So see here. So this PDF is also available on internet, and also I will also be uploading it on the Google classes. Google class, which I have created. So you can learn. There is a lot of material you can learn from this. So you see how reclaiming is being done here. So that mesh which you have seen in the video is this. This is that mesh, and the reclaiming is done here. That bucket elevator is in here. So you can see the actual pictures of stocking and stacking and reclaiming. So you can see they have given the labeling of the diagram also. You can see the reclaimer in this direction, it is taking from this direction. We have seen this in video as well. So you can refer this. I think this is it. We have covered pre-homogenization. Then in next video I'll try to cover pneumatic homogenization. Then we'll move on. Okay, thank you.